Lynn Rosato with Hallie Hill Animal Sanctuary is back this week to introduce me to another pet who's in need of a great home here in the Lowcountry for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Lynn Rosato with Hallie Hill Animal Sanctuary. Welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Likewise. I know we had a cat last week, but this week obviously we have a dog.
We obviously do. Yes, and Poppy got adopted.
Oh,
by the way.
Yeah.
So we were absolutely thrilled about that. But this guy's name is Kane. He is just the sweetest boy. He likes nothing more than to have his belly scratched. He is 7 months old. Whoa. So we would consider him an adolescent. Cool. And he has known not much more than a shelter in his very young life. We would really like to give him the opportunity to be in a loving home so he can learn what it's like to be a wonderful member of a family.
And speaking of family, what type of house would be ideal to him?
Yeah, he's young, so he has lots of energy. But it's interesting. I've had the privilege of spending some time with him in the last couple of weeks. And while he's active, he's also very gentle. He'll approach you and he wants your attention, but he's not going to bowl you over. You know, he's stop. In fact, when I picked him up at the sanctuary today, he ran over and laid down in front of me and gave me his belly and said, "Hi, Lynn, pet me." So he would do okay. I wouldn't put him with babies, right? But I think probably 4 or 5 year old children would be fine. All children as we've talked about, need to learn how to work with dogs and dogs to respect their space as well. Yeah. But he would do fine in an active family that was willing to take some time to show him the ropes, and he's working on some simple commands. He can do a sit. And he's learning to come when you call him, and so he's a pretty bright young guy too.
Yes, indeed. And you talk about picking him up from the sanctuary to bring him over for the interview. How long has he been at the sanctuary?
We got him from another shelter, a sister shelter of ours that is facing overcrowding, as they all are. I think he's been with us about 6 weeks, maybe a couple of months. Wow. He has a brother at the sanctuary too. We took siblings, and the brother's name is CJ. A little more active than this guy, but they've been with us for a little bit, and I'm hoping that they won't be with us too much longer because they really are a perfect pet.
Absolutely. And speaking of pets, what type of dog is Kane, and what type of dog is his brother?
Yeah, they both they're terrier mixes. We never really know. Right. What when we get them this way, but you can take a look at them and make a good guess. And they're they're terrier mixes. I love when they do the DNA. We have a few adopters that do that, and then we get to really know what's in their lineage. But we don't really know. But he's a sweet terrier hound mix, I think.
Oh yes, I think. And so, how can we go about getting him?
Great question. Hallie Hill does everything via our website. So that's halliehill.com. If you go to the tab that says adoptions, adoptable dogs, adoptable cats, click there, and all the animals that we have for adoption, including this handsome boy, is right there on the website. You fill out an application and let Michelle, our wonderful adoptions manager, know who you're interested in, and she will give you a call back to schedule an appointment. We do everything by appointment because we have such a small staff. Yeah. But we'd ask you, if you have other pets in the home, especially dogs, to bring them on out for the visit so they can do a meet and greet, as we call it, and see how they get along. But that's the process.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of process, unfortunately, Hurricane Ian is right now in the Florida area. And I know we'll have some impacts here in the Lowcountry in a couple of days, just rain and wind and tropical storm winds and probably storm surge and probably tornadic threats. But how are you all preparing for this as far as the animals?
That's a great question. We have 150 dogs and 50 cats. So we have over 200 animals at the sanctuary, and we are an open air sanctuary for the most part. We do not have cages. We're not inside of a building. We are a farm, essentially. So it is imperative that we shelter in place. There's just not a way to take all of the animals away from that space. Luckily, we are in a high spot because that's why it's called Hallie Hill. So we, thank goodness, we have very few concerns about flooding. That has never happened. But we do have, of course, high winds. We have many, many trees, and lots of course rain. So we have someone who stays at the shelter during that extremely critical period. So there's someone on the grounds and can intervene if a tree goes down. And we've had that happen in the past. A tree has gone down on one of the dogs' shelter homes, and we've had to move the dogs and do some emergency stuff. And we have everything. We have generators that we can put into use if we need be after the storm. We have lots of volunteers that will come on out and do all the tree limb removal. And so it's not our first rodeo, so to speak, but it is a plan that we implement when we know that there's going to be severe weather.
Yes, ma'am. And then, what? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and then all the dogs have houses, so they all go inside, and we can close them in temporarily so that they're forced to stay in a sheltered space. And then our cats all have what we call in the cattery a hurricane box. So it's a larger box with a heat lamp, and they all go into the hurricane box, and we can drop that as well for the very critical part of the storm. Yes, so the animals are all safe and all protected during that.
Thank God for that in heaven. And once this does pass, which will be mid-Saturday afternoon, what's next for Hallie Hill Animal Sanctuary as far as events? Because obviously it's going to be the first weekend in October.
Yes, we are looking forward to October 13th is our next big fundraising event, and that's Howard Blackwell, who people who are from Charleston know Howard. He's a wonderful illusionist, magician, and he will be doing 2 shows for us on Thursday, October 13th, one at 6:30 and one at 8:30. And that's at the Queen Street, they call it, not the theater, but the Queen Street Theater. Playhouse, thank you, the Queen Street Playhouse. And that is that's the venue. Tickets are $35 each. So, and the earlier show, we're hoping lots of families will come on out. And then the later show at 8:30, I assume will be a little more adult oriented. So we're looking forward to that. That will be a very fun evening, and we hope everyone will come on out and support the sanctuary. We are 100% supported by the good people of Charleston to do the work that we do. So we hope that you'll come on out and support us.
Absolutely, and we just appreciate all of the people's help here in Charleston for helping your sanctuary.
Absolutely. We don't say thank you enough, but we do want everyone to know how very, very grateful we are, because through their support is the way we're able to offer the support to the animals. And our logo, our mission statement is, we can't change the past of these guys, but once they are in our care, we can certainly change their future. And that's what we aim to do. So, yeah, we'd say thank you from our hearts.
Absolutely. And speaking of the future, and speaking of October 13th, I will see you back then here on Quintin's Close-Ups.
Good. Yes, that's right. I'll see you, I think, just the day before that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, and I hope to see you then on my birthday week.
It is. Well, happy birthday early. That's a reason to celebrate, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And maybe we'll be celebrating this guy's adoption too, I hope.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's more important. Yes, indeed.
And look at him. He loves just snuggling right here. So if you want to snuggle, buddy, he'll keep you warm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Lynn Rosato with Hallie Hill Animal Sanctuary and Mr. Kane, thank you all for your time here on Quintin's Close-Ups.
We are happy to be here and look forward to seeing you the next time. Take care, everybody. Be safe.
Likewise.